Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Praise be to Allah, the one who gave us everything, including life and Islam. Today I'm standing here in front of you. I'd like to record a video about my second project in English, which is on my second semester in my second year of high school. I'm going to present you my portfolio or completed CV versions. So here's are just some of the presentations or all of the things that I've done in the school. So first thing first, let me just introduce myself. Currently the name is gone. Wait, hold on. So my name is Azmi Fauzan Akbar. You can call me Azmi or whatever you want to call me. I'm majoring in network engineering, which is in my school, IDM Border School. I've been studying network engineering for at least 2 years, which I've pursued some of the certifications, just like Microtech Certificate Network Associates, the Routing Engineering, and as well as the Cisco Network Associate as well. And I've achieved them in a few months ago. So let me just introduce a brief explanations about myself. So I'm a network engineering specialist. I only focus on network engineering, but sometimes I went through some of the other majors, just like the Linux, the Ubuntu servers, or administrations, or system admin. And here's also some of my titles that I've achieved as the way that I study here. I've been at delegations for national competitions of network engineering for about 4 times in 2 years. I've joined four network engineering competitions. I became finalist 3 times in network engineering competition, and finally won 2 times in network engineering competitions. So I become the winner twice. I become a finalist 3 times and become a delegation 4 times. So let me just give a brief explanations about who am I. I'm a second year vocational high school student, so I'm on my second year, exactly in 11th grade, majoring in network engineering. As I said, I'm a network enthusiast, been studying for 2 years and keep going. So I've been in the network field for about 2 years. I'm not into the experience, into the real world experience, but I'm into the simulations or just practicing on some kind of virtual fields, but it is an experience as well. And I'm CCNA, MTCNA, and MTCRE certificate at just 16 years old. So people usually got their certifications at 20 or at their university year, college year. But I've got them at my high school, and I'm going to take them again once it all expired. And finally, I'm a just the fourth one, I'm a studyholic. I love to study. It is one of my hobby. One of my hobbies is to studying new things. It made me curious about more things. It made me just feel hype every time I discover cool things, amazing things in network engineering. So I'm going to love everything that is new if you want to teach me anything, and are competition maniacs. Actually, I've joined more competitions, but it's not in networking field. I've joined some of the English competitions. In total of 17 competitions I've joined, but just in networking fields I've joined 4. So as I said, my name is Azmi Fauzan Akbar, and welcome to my portfolio. I was born on the 2nd of July 2009, and this year I'll be 17. I'll be getting my ID soon. And I was born in Jakarta. I'm living in North Jakarta, Indonesia, exactly in Tanjung Priok, if you know. It's near with JIS. And I am experienced in network engineering, practicing field simulations. So I've done a ton of simulations that I'll explain in further of the video. Done a ton of network simulations, as I said, and troubleshootings. So we can study network engineering not only with an actual device. We can use simulations, and I've done a ton of them. Not only simulations I create from zero, but also troubleshootings that people face, like as an example, people face some problem, difficulties on their topology, and I've solved them by using the troubleshooting methods. Hands-on actual Cisco 3000 series device. So I'm not only a simulation person. Our school have some of the Cisco devices, especially the 3000 series, the routers, and I've done several configurations just like IP addressing, SSH, security, as well as the OSPF routing. Also, currently I'm studying CCNP Enterprise. I've finished studying, but I haven't taken the certifications. Maybe I'll have to review everything before getting to the certifications, because it's going to be a heavy certifications. And now I'm learning FortiGate, or exactly in Fortinet, and soon enough I'll be learning AWS or the Amazon Web Service. And not only working in network engineering, I'm also working on scholastic assessment tasks. It's something like called SAT, and it's so why did I put it on my portfolio? Is not because it's related with my fields, but it's related with my logical thinking, troubleshootings. Like it must be have a relation between brains and everything. As I told you, I became delegations or national networking competitions from my school several times, and I'm a brainstorming and troubleshooting lover. I prefer troubleshootings rather than zero configurations kind of stuff. So here's some of my brief explanations. I'm a network engineering specialist. Here's some of the devices that I use. I'm studying Cisco, MikroTik, and FortiGate, and also Amazon Web Service. I'll show you some of the percentage that I've studied later on, and my tools are some of the things that I use to study, or things that I usually use for my network engineering stuff. I've used PNet Lab, especially when you can mix between vendors, Cisco and MikroTik. It should be fun, and it's so astonishing for me to actually study in PNet Lab compared to Cisco Packet Tracer. I use PuTTY for my SSH to remote control. Also Wireshark to detect packets, to sniff packets in the networks. I use it on my PNet Lab as well. So you can't underestimate simulations, because maybe some of people would just be shocked when they're first time seeing a device, an actual device, when they only used on simulations. But it's not something that we should see on every person, because sometimes you just need to understand how to configure it and what to do with it. And then I use VMware, as we know that we can use VM for Linux, for Linux, and for my PNets, and for everything for my servers you can use VM virtual environment. Also the Linux I've been studying for some time, but it's not too much, because I told you I'm focusing on my network engineering. But of course I'll be diving into them. I'm still 16, I have a lot of time to study before I get into my jobs. My experiences, so if you want to know some of the experience that I've achieved, that I configure a Cisco 3000 series. So I'm not only a simulation person, but I actually get my hands on an actual device and configure MikroTik 951 ND. So it's just some basic device, but it is MikroTik. And then Linux Ubuntu server, I've been studying for a while about servers, also real-world network simulations. So as I told you, it's not only just several Cisco devices. In my simulations, there are a lot of the devices inside. And yeah, as a basic network engineering, I must understand how to crimp a cable, UTP and STP. That's some of the basics that I should have known as a network engineering myself. So let's head into my skills, or not my skill, but a skills level. So which I dominate, which place did I dominate most, which is my my basic things I do, I mean most of the time. So here are the 5 things that I told you: Cisco, MikroTik, Linux Server, Fortinet, and AWS or Amazon Web Service. So most of the time, I use Cisco as my base studying for network engineering. So I'll be putting 70% of my time into Cisco. So it's basically, what do I study the most? I study mostly on Cisco. MikroTik, yes, I study MikroTik, but it's on my first year in my senior high school. So I put on 55%. It's because I haven't reviewed them again. So I'll be reviewing, of course. And then Linux Server is just some of my self-study stuff. So I don't study them at school, I study them myself. I'm learning how to configure servers in Linux. And also Fortinet, I just start them, so it's at 25% of the time I use it to study FortiGate or the firewalls. I need, of course, I need security to become a network engineering as well. And then Amazon Web Service is going to be fun, but I haven't started them, so I'll be putting my concentrations 15% on the Amazon Web Service. So yeah, I'm trying my best to grow with my skills while learning maths, chemistry, and English C1 as well. So here is it. Astonishing projects. I've done 42 plus series of simulations projects and done successfully. So I've not studied one or two basic simulations, but I've done a lot of topologies that you might see in the future if you want to. So it's just like some simulations, some scenario that I've created based on the real world situations, like how do I face this problem, how do I configure this, blah blah blah. What do company needs? What do company needs from network engineering? Like what kind of networks do they need? What kind of environment of the network do they need, and something like that. It's just like a lot of things. And then my expertise, I've done some routing, switching, information security, network architecture, Windows and Linux. I'll just put some of these. So routing, I've done AGRP, EGRP, OSPF v3, which is for IP physics, as well IP physics. BGP, some basics BGP. I've learned some attributes, and RP v2 for the IP physics. VMVPN, IQv2, VPN, tunnel, and VPN, virtual private network, and basic MPLS. I'll say 85% of my skills are in routing. And then switching, including most switching technologies like VLANs, port security, VTPs, and then spanning tree, just like the spanning tree quad or the other channel, the bundling, and then VXLAN. I'm not really that much studying VXLAN, but I've just touched some of the grounds on the VXLAN. So I'll say basic VXLAN, so I just understand the concept of VXLAN itself. So information security is some of the obligations that we have, because if we only know how to make a network and don't know how to defend it, then it would be a very vulnerable how do I say it, network, or just hackers will just hack into your networks, just get your private informations and etc. So I've studying firewall, VPNs to encrypt the data sent through the network, and then AAA authentication, authorizations, and accounting. Also the SSL certificate, which we use we use it on the VPNs as well. Accesses, some kind of old firewall stuff, and I'm learning the next generation too. And then NAT, or network address installations as well. I'll say 65% on my information security. I'll put most of the time studying my switching or routing. So network architecture, high availability is like a concept where we use more than one routers to make sure everything going well. Failover, load balancing, ICMP, ECMP, three-side, and spine lift. I'll say 75% of my time putting on learning them. Windows and Linux, I just start them. It's just like Ubuntu Server, Windows Server, DNS, and DHCP. And here are the experience. that I've achieved in some time. So here, if you want to know more about the competitions that I joined, it is national competitions around Indonesia, especially in West Java, and East Java. Yeah, Inacom is from the University Negeri Jakarta. It says 24 May 2025, a delegation, and then Tektopia in Bali, I become a finalist. And then PNB ITC, I become the first winner in Bali as well. Ionic and Polytechnic Negeri Surabaya, or PANS, I became the 4th place, unfortunately. And the last one is Netcom, or from the UGM, I've become the 2nd winner, or the latest competitions that I've joined. I think that's all for me. Thank you so much for listening to my video. If you're interested, then contact me on LinkedIn. You can just search Azmi Fauzan Akbar. My name is Azmi Fauzan Akbar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.